Alright, so I'm going to show you how to make some bean burritos or tacos, either or, for your next hiking trip, using minimal amount of fuel here, and yeah, it's pretty delicious. So Isel over here is going to be my assistant. She's going to help us a little bit. First things first, put a little bit of water in here. For me, the way I do it, I just put a little bit under 2 cups, and then we're gonna turn on the heat. Alright, get that boiling. Be sure to cover it up because it's gonna get boiling faster, and the whole goal is to use a minimal amount of fuel. So we're gonna let that boil up and then get started. Alright, so first things first, while that's over there boiling, that's Nelson, by the way. We're gonna kind of go over what we got. This green stuff here is spinach. I just like to add it. You could use, I'm sure that you could dry some cilantro. Yeah, you just kind of whatever is to your choosing. Here I got some seasoning, and I also got some hot sauce. That's more to your liking. This is the important stuff though. We got rice. We got some dehydrated beans here. This has some different veggies in there just for flavor. And then, oh, that's just a snack. Those are nuts. And then we got salt. Salt's good up when you're doing a thru hike or hiking during the summer because you're gonna sweat out a lot of that and you need to replace it. And then we got some utensils over here. I like chopsticks. You can eat with them. I like eating a lot of pho, but we're not making pho today. That's gonna be a different video. But for this circumstance, oh yeah, I guess you can put that back in there. Go ahead. We just need one to stir it up. And I got a spoon right here. Use that. We don't need these guys. Alright, so this pot right here, I like to use it to kind of just keep my delicates from getting all smashed. For that we got some hand ground corn tortillas right here. Well, hand ground, I shouldn't say that. Don't laugh at me. Her parents are in a tortilla factory.
Tortilla,
tortilla factory. So these things are really delicious. Mi jacalito tortillas. I'm sure they'd ship them to you if you ordered enough.
Mi jacalito, no preservatives. Very tasty.
Very delicious. So we're gonna use those. The other thing I like to use this for is like when I make mashed potatoes. I like to put the mashed potatoes in here and then add the water so I can make my gravy in here. That just helps me save fuel. I don't think we'll be using this, not 100%, we'll see when we come to it. So another thing we can do while we wait is we got this Tupperware full of veggies right here. Isel is gonna help me show you what I got. Normally you wouldn't have a lot of these on a thru hike, but we're just day hiking, so you know, luxury. Using the lid to cut the veggies on is a good way to save some space. Got some lettuce right there. Cabbage is a also great item that when dehydrated you can take it on the trail. Got tomatoes. Personally, when I'm thru hiking, I like to carry some radishes with me. They'll last multiple days and they won't go bad. So Isel is going to start kind of prepping these veggies up. While she's doing that, we're going to take a look over here at the water, see how it's doing. It's almost boiling, but not quite yet. Sometimes I do like to add the rice in when it's not yet boiling, but we'll wait for it to boil. We got the luxury going on today. Luxury experience, I should say. Look at that lettuce. Beautiful. Alright, well, Isel is going to be working on the veggies right there. I'm going to actually go ahead and add the rice in. First I'm going to add a little bit of this seasoned rice and bean mix. Yeah, it's boiling good. And I'm going to add the rice. And I highly suggest practicing this at home to see how much rice to water ratio you need. You're going to want to put less rice than you normally would because after the rice is pretty much done cooking, we're going to add the dehydrated beans in there. So we'll get to that in just a second. See how Isel is doing over here with the lettuce? Looking pretty good. Alright. It's never a bad idea to just stir it up real quick. You don't want any of this kind of clumping up on the bottom. Let's see. Yeah, it's looking pretty good. I'm gonna let it cook for a while. Yeah. Alright, so Isel is over here cutting this homegrown tomato that we brought. Delicious looking. I'm gonna kind of show you something where I kind of messed up. We are overboiling quite a bit, so we need to turn this down to a simmer. Depending on your stove, this might be a little bit more difficult than it should be, but if you get down to a simmer, that's really gonna help. Let's see. Alright, I think I got it going good. A little too much still. Alright, we'll let that set for a little and see how it does. Yeah, those tomatoes are looking pretty delicious. Just checking in on Nelson. How you doing, buddy? Doing good? Alright. Alright, so I'm going to real quickly kind of go over with you the two types of beans I have. I have some dehydrated black beans. Cook these myself and then dehydrate them myself. And these are a Harmony product, dehydrated kidney beans. I've already used these before. They work really, really well. So I think I'm going to go ahead and go with these this time. But it's really not that hard to dehydrate your own beans. I'll do a different video on that. Let's check in on our rice. You can hear the stove sputtering along. It's kind of hard to get this one to a simmer, but I do have it to a pretty good simmer, I think. That's generally where I like it. I'm just gonna leave it right there. Just need a couple more minutes. Just a little other recommendation for you. I do love this pot right here because I like to use it just to store some food, and you can cover it up so you don't like kick some dirt in there on accident. Bugs don't fly in there. It's always good to have a lid for your food containers. Alright, gonna add a little bit of salt. Maybe a little bit more. Alright. Okay, so a little bit of an update. Hopefully you can see in there. Yeah. So you can see the rice is expanded a little bit and it's kind of risen to the top. It's kind of looking like a little soupy mixture. Not quite done cooking. But this is about the time you want to add the beans, because the beans are going to take a little bit to hydrate, and you want the beans and the rice to finish at the same time. Alright, so I've come to the conclusion that there's still just a little bit too much water in there, but the rice is about where I want it, so I'm going to turn this heat up to really kind of try to burn off some of that water. Yeah, that's about where I want it. Alright, now Isel's going to pour these kidney beans just straight on top. Perfect. Alright. And you want the beans on top. Don't mix them in. You might need to flatten them out a little bit. But you just want to leave them on top so that they get steamed. Alright, now we got to wait a few more minutes. Make sure you put your lid back on, because we really want them to get steamed up. So put the lid on. The lid is important. Alright, taking a look real quick. Yeah, it definitely boiled off a lot of that water, so I'm going to turn this back down to a little bit of a sputter. Got a little wind over here. That tends to not help, but we should be fine. We got this. Real low. Alright. Okay, yeah, it should be good. Worst case scenario, yes, add a little bit water back to it, but we should be fine. Alright, so I want to check to see where the water level's at, so I'm just going to go on the edge. I'm just going to kind of, let's see if I can focus there. Alright, I'm just going to kind of pull it away. Yeah, I can see there's still some water in there, so that's good. We don't want to burn the bottom, otherwise this pan's going to be really hard to clean. Alright, so the water kind of burned off a little bit faster than I expected, so we're going to add a little bit of water.
Stop.
Yep. Keep going. Alright, stop. Okay. And then we're just going to mix this top layer a little bit. I'm trying to get the dry ones down underneath. this up just a little bit. Alright, cover it back up, give it a couple more minutes. Alright, so I went ahead and mixed it up a little bit more, and I checked the bottom. You can see there's just a little bit of moisture down there. It's bubbling up just a little bit, but not very much. So what we're gonna do, we're just gonna flatten this out, turn this guy off, and then we're gonna cover her up like that. I can hold this real quick. Take her off. Just set it over here for a bit. You know what? That's set. And then we're gonna use this guy to heat up our tortillas. So I want to turn this thing back on, and then just kind of figure out where the heat's at. You want it to be about, I'd say about 2 inches off. Good amount of heat. All right, that should be perfect right there. And what I do, you can do this with corn or flour. You just kind of arch it over, just like that. Just leave it for a second.
Cool.
Alright, we're just gonna leave it. It doesn't take that long. You just kind of feel the top right here. When it starts to get pretty hot, you're gonna flip it over.
Need some help?
Yeah, actually, I'm gonna keep holding the camera.
Okay.
I'm gonna flip it.
Beautiful. Oop. Beautiful.
And then hopefully what we're gonna do is use this baggie right here to steam the rest of it, because the center is gonna get nice and hot, but the edges are still gonna be undercooked. So we just wanna kind of add some heat to it, and then we're gonna stick it in the bag. And we're gonna do that to all of them. So there's one. Close that guy up. And then we're gonna do another one. I'm gonna do this to, yeah, we'll do it to all the tortillas.